You're an insurance agent looking for one of the newest and updated CRMs and dialing partners. We've got Summer from Prospect Boss who's going to kind of go over their brand new CRM release. Summer, say hey and thank you for joining with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me on today.
I appreciate you. So you've got a brand new CRM, tons of integrations that just really is pretty sweet from what you guys are sharing with us for an agent that needs a CRM as well as a dialer. You've really kind of done some things and I'd like to kind of unpack some of those things that may help insurance agents that really need one. I know I'm very blessed to partner with some of the most amazing agents as well as agencies here at jasonfinalexpense.com selling life and Medicare and annuities and all that fun stuff. And I personally use my fingers to dial leads, and I don't use a CRM, but a lot of our agents do, and they've used your Power Dialer for quite some time as well and liked it. So why don't you share with the audience what your brand new CRM does and what it's going to give to them? And I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So last week we did a new system update for Prospect Boss. We've always been a more campaign-centric CRM, which kind of seemed like it defeated the purpose in a way, but we were the really only the ones on the market that kind of combine the concept of having a dialer and a CRM together. And then we have been working on this for a while, and it moved from being campaign centric to contact centric, which would make it more of a true CRM. And we were able to just implement a lot of new features, which I can discuss today. But we have a brand new state-of-the-art CRM that's golden for dialing leads. We are able to help agents more seamlessly prospect efficiently, and you can maintain your data while dialing leads. So instead of just using, a CRM and then a dialing account differently, this is just really an all-in-one stop shop, which is why we kind of brand ourselves as an all-in-one lead generation solution because agents are busy and they don't really have time to maintain both typically. So this just kind of helps like a very tech savvy. If you're not very tech savvy, this is definitely like the CRM for you. But with that being said, we also do have some great features. But I just know some of the CRMs are a little bit more robust and harder to learn. And then you'd spend so long, learning how to use it. It's like taking away from your time actually dialing the leads and prospecting. So our solution kind of combats those efforts. But this is not just a white label version of Go High Level like some other CRMs on the market. We have our own system that's developed for agents to become more successful with their prospecting efforts. We've been in business for 12 years and we've done this really big jump with this system update. So that just means we've been around the block and we know what works for us, and our agents and what hasn't worked. And we just heed a lot of feedback and we've just tried to implement some of that. And you can see this with the update. But now you can import your leads seamlessly via CSV file and tag them on the fly with robust calling features. So with our new calling screen, you can go through and tag them while you're dialing. So if you're, you know, prospecting and you have someone who's maybe Medicare, someone who's final expense, someone who's life, depending on what type of policies you sell, you can organize them that way. And then you can actually create automations based on those tags too, which is pretty
Tags are nice because
interesting.
it just kind of lets you know who to take care of, right? So if I'm talking to a
Hmm.
Medicare person, I don't want to give them a final expense pitch, right? So be able to tag,
Yeah.
it's those things are nice. And, the fact that you've kind of thought about making this easier for folks that aren't super tech savvy, there's a ton of agents that are like, I just want to dial.
Yeah.
The more calls you make, the more money you can make potentially, right? So it's like we want to just be about the dialing, not, oh, I've got to figure out this stinking CRM. Like a lot of CRMs are nothing but go high level. It just is. And it's like a lot of people don't even know this, that it's just go high level that they're charging you a lot of money for. And you
Hmm.
got to have things that are just easy if you want to engage with more people. And, your tag integration, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. And that way too, it can help you create the automations, like I said. So speaking of automations, we have a new email template area. So we've always had like email marketing in our system, but with this update, you can create like a custom header, a custom signature. You can configure it with Outlook, Gmail, or any other type of like email domain that you use, and that way you can just send them directly from that account. And then you can also do text messages now, which like we've had both of those things, but just the way that it's set up in the system is very just resourceful now because you can because I use different CRMs to send out emails and texts. So it kind of follows that method a little bit more to where you like have the email and then you can have the text and then you can add a delay in between the two. And then you can automate that and you can like pick that also based on those tags. So you can send out like Medicare automation, or you could send out like a final expense one to send just different texts and stuff. And then you can make all of that branded and look very professional on your end so that they know it's coming from you and it doesn't look like something that's just coming from a particular, CRM.
Absolutely. So you help the agents that aren't tech savvy to be able to develop all of this seamlessly.
Yeah. Yeah, our goal really is to just keep you prospecting and not spending a lot of time just figuring out how to use it. Because it's something, with some platforms that we use, when I first started, I had just had to like learn, take all these classes and stuff, which is helpful now because helps me be better at my job. But a lot of these times, these agents are just wanting to, they got to make money, they got to close these deals. So this just helps you do that at a way faster rate.
Having a more professional email with proper signatures and stuff like that, there's a lot of value add there for somebody that maybe isn't super tech savvy. They get frustrated with some of these dialers and CRMs, by the way, that are just white labeled go high level platforms that you're paying a lot of money for. And then you realize that,
Hmm.
oh, I don't get minutes. What do you mean I can't dial? I can't email. I can't text. That's extra, right? Where with you guys, it's kind of this one package so that you can pursue the most important thing, and that's prospecting.
Yeah,
Prospecting's big, and you guys have done it for a long time. That's a big
yeah, we
deal.
have. Yeah, we now have also a full Zapier integration. So if you're using Facebook Lead integration, or if you have maybe a bigger CRM like we discussed, you can integrate that information directly into the Prospect Boss system through Zapier now. We used to have to kind of do it in a more complicated way, and this just makes it a little bit more seamless for you to keep up with all of your outside data. If you are using other platforms too, we don't want to take away from that. If you just really prefer our dialer and then another solution, you can just a little bit more seamlessly combine the two now.
Nice to be able to integrate. Let's say, an agent is using another CRM, paying $90 or $100. Now they can kind of do this where it's more dialing focused, prospecting
Mhm.
focused. Now you're going more customer focused here with your CRM, so that they don't have to worry about like all these bells and whistles that folks fall victim for. Oh, I've got this special, automation, this special robot that's going to somehow make an agent more money. It really doesn't.
Mhm.
I've got so many great agents that partner here and agencies that partner here. And I talk to a lot of agents nationally, and those things have not made 1 ounce of difference in their careers. It's such a small margin, and they make a lot of money. Sometimes, oh, get this special thing here, and somehow it's going to do the work for you. The business and final expense specifically, other parts of the industry, yes, I could see where maybe there'd be a place for it, but final expense,
Mhm.
it's a different demographic here. I mean, it's you got to be good at connecting with the consumer and making all those calls, and automations are not going to somehow make you a lot more money. It's just not. And I'm glad
Yeah.
you haven't kind of bit that bug at Prospect Boss and sold that bill of goods, so to speak. But
Yeah.
they can save a lot of money being able to go into a position like, you guys, where it's just a CRM and a dialer, and this is where we go. We're not going to have to
Mhm.
learn it for a week, because learning stuff for a week takes a lot of opportunity away from you.
Yeah.
If you're a brand new agent, even a veteran agent, forget that. I use my fingers. I don't even use a CRM at all. I had a CRM for a brief period of time to check out some of the scrubbing features, etc. And I don't even own that. I don't own any CRM, none. Right. That's a very important thing for the audience to know. I don't use a CRM. I use scrubbing software. That's it. I think dialers can be a really, huge, advantage to people that need tech, but also the CRM aspect when it's clunky. can really take a lot of your attention away and cost you dollars because you're not dialing, dialing, dialing. The ultimate,
True.
focus is just get on the phone,
Yeah. It's
not
one of
let's
those
focus on the
things.
software.
Yeah, you want to use that subscription that you're paying for. But another good thing about us, one thing that hasn't changed too, is we're month to month.
Oh,
So if someone was interested in giving it a try, maybe you haven't used a dialer before, we offer like a $10 10-day free trial, and you can, we have a allotted amount of call hours that you can use, and just see if it works for you. Because like you said, sometimes you like may get it and then you don't even use it. We all have gym subscriptions that we might not use every month, or
right.
go a couple months without, or a month or a few weeks without using like Hulu or Netflix or something.
100%.
So with that being said, like you could try it, see if it worked for you, and if it didn't, then never mind. We also, something we've always offered too is like a dormant feature. So maybe like this past month, we're getting out of the holiday season, but some agents, don't work for like a month at a
Sure.
time or something. So we also do offer like dormant. So that way you can keep your account, keep all of your leads, but it's significantly less too. Because if you had periods of time where you were busier, maybe you just sell insurance on the side, because some
Hey,
people do that when they first get started. You could just, contact our billing department and ask to go dormant too. So that way you're not paying, that full price for the account, but you can still maintain all of that data and stuff, and then maybe pick it back up when it's a better time for you to start using it again.
it's huge. I mean, the other, CRM companies out there that are pretty much white labeled go high level, those ones out there, they don't give you a pass. If you're like, hey, I'm going to take a month off for December because I rocked the world this year, they
Hmm.
don't give you that. If you don't pay for that period of time, you lost all your data. You're
Yeah.
done. And then you got to start all over again. No, thank you. So that's really
Yeah.
neat that you guys have this CRM. You've got this dialer. And if you are like, hey, I'm not going to be even really using it, let's kind of make it go dormant and you don't lose everything. That's a neat thing that you guys have done. Kind of thought about the agents and folks that are prospecting, maybe more than some of the other CRM, you
Yeah.
know,
So if
options
people
out there.
say, I didn't use it this past month, can I get a refund? Or I want to try it again. I canceled it before, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that's just like making, a lot of extra work for yourself. When you
Right.
could just maybe explain, like, is there another option? So I just try to make it known that we do offer that, so you're not having to delete all of that information and start over again on like the slower periods. Or maybe if you're like, exploring another serum that you think might work better for you, but you're not quite sure, that could be an option too if you're kind of thinking of trying something new. Nothing's wrong with that. So that way, when you did come back, maybe you decided those other ones didn't work for you. We still have like the data here with us and your leads and everything ready to go.
A lot of the other CRMs out there, the data and the dialing and the texting, all that stuff is completely separate. And that costs a lot of money for
Hmm.
agents. I mean, it really does. That adds up. I mean, I know one particular agent that partners with us got a CRM out there and it's just a CRM and then they have to pay for their own data, right? You get so many minutes and yada yada. Well, talk about a $300 data bill at the end of the month. It's like, yikes. You
Hmm.
got to be careful of some of these CRMs out there that charges separate for every minute you make and dials and all that stuff. Those things can add up if you're really, working a lot of,
Yeah.
leads. Something to look at this holistically for everybody watching. You got to do what's right for you. I don't use a dialer. I use my fingers, right?
Hmm.
But a lot of agents want one. And if you want one, you got to go, oh, what's going to be the best fit for me? All right. Do I want something that's easy and seamless and just be able to import my leads in a way where if you're making your own Facebook final expense leads, you can just import them and go, where it's just simplistic? Or do you want something that maybe is going to be real complicated? And then you got to set up another phone number and data and charges. And it's like you're juggling, a bunch of balls instead of saying, hey,
Yeah.
this is what I need. Let's just push the little skinny thing and go get after it with the leads and just calling them and, tag them right and be able to have the integrations necessary to be able to move.
Yeah. And we've talked about it before, but we are one of the only dollars out there at the moment that's combating the FCC with the regulations to stir, shake, and spam likely.
Talk about
So
that.
that
The
is
stir,
still a
shaking
thing.
issues.
Yeah.
It's a big
Yeah.
deal. It's not going away. It's getting worse for agents.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the
exactly.
stir shaking thing. That's an additional thing
Yeah.
that you guys do with your CRM and dialer.
Yeah.
So an
So,
agent that doesn't know, they're like, "What are you talking about,
mhm.
Summer? What's stir shaking?"
Yeah, back in 2022, the FCC past regulations that they called stir shaken that blocks calls based on certain algorithms. So it could be call duration. So people, that are using dialers and these leads aren't picking up, then, the calls like are 30 seconds, possibly less. So, that's one flag that could set the radar off. And then the amount of calls made per hour, because you're using a dialer. So sometimes you're
Right?
calling several leads per hour, especially if you're using a multi-line dialer like ours and other ones that are out there. But yeah, so it'll like block those calls or it'll pick up that you're kind of setting the radar off, if that makes sense. And then it'll start just blocking your calls completely. So people were thinking that it was a lead quality issue or quality with the specific dialer that they were using.
Right.
And we got the brunt of that as well as I'm sure many other dialers out there. And we're just like, what's going on? Nothing has changed. Our leads haven't changed, if not gotten better. What's the issue here? And then our CEO, he was looking into our developers looking into it, and they realized that that was the root of the cause. So we now offer outbound phone numbers for that reason. So every 40 calls, your number can switch. It is an extra charge, but it's only $5. Sorry, yeah, $5 a number. And then you could we recommend getting five. So I'm sorry, it was $3 a number. We recommend getting five. I get the two numbers switched up. But yeah, we recommend just getting like a pack of them and then it'll rotate every 40 calls. So that way you're staying below the radar. And then another thing that we are offering too is to register your number with mobile carriers. So like T-Mobile, Verizon, um, AT&T, etc. And you can just pay us that one-time fee and it'll help get your call not marked as spam likely. It's not a perfect fix, but it just kind of reduces the chances of that. And then if you do realize those numbers have been probably marked as spam and you're thinking there was an issue, our tech guy, Eric, he does a bunch of test calls with all of us, our staff, and just internally to see if those numbers are showing up as spam. And then if they are, then we give you some new numbers for no charge. So
It's nice
we
that you're
kind of
giving
get you
agents.
on both ends with additional numbers and then registering those additional numbers. So we have some real estate agents because we, work with that industry as well. And they love our system and they're like, I was talking to him the other day and I was like, don't you have like 10 numbers? He's like, no, I have 20. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Right?
I was like, okay. So he's just like
Oh,
rotating all those numbers, got them
yeah.
registered and everything. So the more you want to add, that's up to you. Like I said, we recommend five.
Sure.
Just depends on how many calls that you're making. That it's honestly what's going to be the determining factor there. But yeah, we are pushing that to increase people's pick or prospects pickup rates so that they're not getting flagged and then their calls are actually going through because you pay for those leads so you want to be able to contact them if it's just not going through on their end because they were thinking it was an issue with the dialer. Well, the call just wasn't going through in the first place. So we did those different workarounds to combat those issues. Like I said, not a perfect fix, but it's definitely significantly increased people's pickup rates while making calls.
Spam likely is just horrible for a lot of agents that don't know any better. They get maybe a triple line dialer with some of these other CRM dialer combos, right? They're not integrated like you guys are. They're always
Hmm.
separate, separate data, and then they get destroyed by this spam likely. And what happens is if you don't register your number properly, or you start, flagging their radar, you're going to go straight to their voicemail, right to their voicemail. And you're going to wonder why am I just not even ringing? My call
Hmm.
just goes straight. I can't get a hold of anybody. It's just getting blocked here. You're not going to make the bucks if that's kind of what you're doing. And if you're calling a bunch of aged leads, a lot of insurance agents are calling aged leads, and we help a ton of folks get resources on aged leads here as well. But when you're doing that, you're going through a lot of dials to get that one person to pick up. You're using a force multiplier like a triple line dialer or a double line dialer. It can flag you fast if you don't have enough numbers to use your guys' solution to be able to kind of do your best to mitigate that spam likely risk. But more people that pick up, for those of you watching, is the higher chance of you having a chance of profitability.
Yeah. Exactly. And we also right now honestly are recommending doing a two line if you've been using the 3 line and you like it, then that's perfectly fine. But we have just
Mhm.
found that the 2 line has a little bit less of a chance of setting off the FCC radar on that
Absolutely. And
regard.
the call abandon rate, is something agents got to be mindful of. And a two line dialer is, as long as you got a lead that you can use a two line dialer on,
Hmm.
that's what you want to use. If you can, right? As long as it's compliant, go make those calls, get a hold of them. A two line dialer is fine. I mean, that's a force multiplier here if you're calling a bunch of data, right? Or calling a bunch of H
Yeah.
leads. And, watch some of my content above here on what the government's doing on leads. That's going to be something to be mindful of. So watch our channel at jasonfinalexpense.com. Those are some important updates on the fact that sometimes you may be looking at buying brand new leads soon. All right. Only, all right. If you need age leads or data, your time, okay, it's a ticking. All right. So make sure
Yeah.
you're not falling victim to not knowing what's going to happen in the industry. And our channel will always give them that blunt data that they need to make their own decisions. But yeah, that's the double line dialers are pretty cool. We got some agents that, love those things. We've got folks that I talk to across the nation that have used your dialer for years and years and years, and it does work. That dog hunts. So that's pretty cool that you guys have done that. So the spam
Yeah.
likely you've done the best you could to mitigate that risk. That'll be huge. I love the fact that your onboarding is the white glove service that agents need. That's a big deal. The fact that you haven't bit the bot bug of all these, like, nobody likes bots. Period.
Yeah.
If I go to a car dealer's website and his bot pulls up and it's always a picture of a young lady or a handsome man, and it try to communicate with you, it's a bot. You just
Yeah.
do. And
Yeah.
it is as much as AI and all this stuff is being the big thing, right? It's going to get into your pocketbooks for those of you watching, and they're going to get paid, and you're going to get to the end of your month and go, well, that didn't make any difference. Artificial intelligence is not bad, but it's 100% artificial, and it really lacks the intelligence that you possess. That's why you're an
Yeah.
insurance agent or a real estate agent. You know how to handle business. That bot, that automation is not going to substitute for you. It's got some value for certain demographics for those of you watching, but it's not everything. It's not.
Yeah.
And you
We've
should be
definitely
paying
gotten
extra money for it.
some good feedback recently from some of our clients just saying they appreciate the smallness, like the tight knit that we um have with our company because we don't use any AI for our tech support or
Right.
any kind of support really. We have a really small group of people, but we take care of our clients. We have a tech support and then we have backup for him. We have people who, like an onboarding specialist, if you haven't used a system before or coming from a different one, interested in it, all of the
Absolutely.
above, whatever, is your need. So we help you on board with someone, and then we just actually help. We actually have staff that read the tickets that are submitted and read the chat box submittals, that actually answer the phone when you call. With that being said, if you call and we are busy, just leave all the relevant information. We'll give you a call back as soon as we can. So we just try to keep everything maintained, not use AI for any of that because I know what it's like to be on the end of, like, trying to call a company and get customer support, and it's just like literally yelling at the phone, please speak to a person. Can I speak to a
Right.
person, please?
Yelling operator into your phone till you're
Yeah,
blue in the face. I mean, it's no good. And a lot of the other CRMs out there, they've outsourced their customer service. They just have.
yeah,
And like we said, a lot of the CRMs out there, dig in. Most of them are, white labeled Go High Levels, and there's nothing wrong with Go High Level, but it's the same thing, different name on it. And is that what you want? Maybe it is what you want. Research it,
mhm,
right? Look into it. Is that what you want? It may be a fit, maybe it's not. Do you need to overpay for, a CRM and dialer combo? Probably not. Is this the right fit? It very well may be here. But do a little diligence on your CRM and dialers. Um, it's important to
yeah,
have, the decisions made and then just lean in. It's good to have something that's focused on prospecting, not focused on a confusing system that takes you a week to figure out. And they say they give you white glove service and you're sitting there looking at like how-to videos. Dear goodness, help you.
yeah, yeah.
That's frustrating. It is,
It is.
or you ask a question and it's like some little chat thing and then you don't get a concrete answer. That's really frustrating.
Yeah,
Um,
or my favorite is when they just send you a bunch of articles and I'm like, I'm Glad I took the time to call for you to send me articles that I could have Googled and probably already read in the first place,
Seriously.
which is why I'm calling you because that article didn't help.
Exactly, right? I'm yelling operator because yeah, I need some help here. It's a
Yeah,
frustration. I love your guys' heart there. So, well, is there
thanks.
anything else about this CRM and dialer summer that the audience needs to be aware of?
Yeah,
Anything?
so we do have a feature on our dashboard that has been redesigned and updated, and it lets you know the best time for to dial your leads based on the data that's collected while you're doing your dialing, and then it can let you know your call statistics for the past 14 days. And then you can set goals for yourself as well. So if you have a quota, maybe you're trying to push yourself a little bit harder. It could be a personal thing or could be based on your agency or team so that you have a setting, I need to make 20 calls today. I need to call this specific industry today, etc. So you could see if you're meeting those goals just to hold yourself accountable. And then you can look at your call statistics too based on that. So maybe you weren't getting a lot of pickups at this one time that you were trying to prospect. Say you tried to, at 10 a.m. every day and that really wasn't working out. So maybe you could reroute and try a different time of the day next time if those and that way you can manipulate your schedule a little bit more and do what's going to be best for the prospecting times.
Absolutely. Increasing pickups, that's a big deal. That's pretty
Hmm.
cool. You guys have integrated that into your CRM. I know a lot
Yeah.
of agents appreciate that because they don't always know the best times to call. I get that question a lot on my YouTube channel, and people reach out and like, "What time should I be calling?" Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Well,
Yeah.
anything else they need to know?
I think that's it. We are going to have more features come here and there, but these are the ones so far that are ready to go and they're working well. As with any software date, you kind of have to do things in stages as well because you don't want to
Of
just do
course.
everything at once and make the system crash. That's the last thing we're trying to do. So we're gonna have more features come out and we'll hopefully get to make more videos about it. But
Absolutely.
check our social media, and if you're not already a part of our like marketing emails where we do release any software updates that way, you can always join our marketing emails by filling out different forms on our website and just stay in the loop in that regard. We have like our Facebook user groups. One's database by design, that's a little bit more real estate focused, so we have the prospect boss user mind group. So I have found personally that being a part of Facebook groups, I'm a part of some that are about Facebook, just, for some additional customer support or questions that I may have from time to time. Um, so yeah, and then follow our other social media channels as well, or always give us a call if you have any questions. And
Best
yeah,
phone
so
number and
this,
website for them to be able to reach out if they're like, "Listen, I like this CRM and dialer. How do I get in touch with you?"
yeah, our phone number is 1-800-662-4009. And then we have different extensions. If you want to call sales directly, it's 912-491-2497. That is our direct sales number. But then you can always, pick an extension from the line, billing, tech support, etc., based on your
Excellent. Well,
needs. But
thank
yeah,
you. Thank you
and
for
then it's
coming on
just
today.
yeah, prospectboss.com. It's just the website as well.
Well, that's easy. That's easy.
Pretty
Well, I know this is gonna be a huge help.
self-explanatory.
Absolutely. Keep
Yeah.
it simple, right? Just like you've done with your CRM and dialers for years. For the 12 years you guys have done this, that's a big deal. So awesome. Well,
Yeah,
Summer,
thank
thank you
you.
for coming on and educating the audience and appreciate you all. Hope you have a great day. Summer, lead
Yeah.
us out.
All right, thanks.